Welcome. My name is Mike Kublin, and I have a company called PeopleTek. We work with people in technologies, and I want to first thank you for being here because you're people in technologies, right? And you got to pat yourself on the back because you came to a program that everybody talks about because it's about the people that make a difference, right? In our service desks, in our IT world, with our business partners. And since in 1988, I got some feedback about myself that I was a good relationship person, that I was a visionary, that I was motivating and inspiring. But I got some feedback that I was wishy-washy and didn't hold people accountable to behavior. Whoa, this hit me hard. I didn't know what to do. So back then, they didn't have coaches like we have today, but they had consultants. So I called a consultant, and she specialized working in hospitals with doctors and nurses. You know, kind of a similar thing. Doctors got to have to get along with nurses, right? And they have to get along, everybody, with the patients, and they're there to solve problems, right? And so I figured, let's bring this process in and put it into technologies. And so after I looked at my behavior and saw that it was my behavior that was creating those impressions that actually were causing these perceptions to happen. It was me. It wasn't anybody else. And so I had to look at what could I change in order to be a more effective IT professional, because I started my career at EDS. I don't know if people have heard Ross Perot's company back in a long time ago. I had a lot of hair back then, and I was 7 feet tall, right? But all that is gone. And what remains, though, is that experience, I said, you know what? At that time, I started to apply it to different units in the big financial institution that I worked at, and really started to love it, got certified in various tools, and said, this is what I don't want people to struggle with anymore. I want them not to go through what I went through, and why not learn about themselves ahead of time so that they could take and tweak something little that is a major thing in a customer's eyes or in a team's eyes or in a staff that you lead's eyes, and it'll make your life easier. So that's why we're here today, is to make your life easier. And I'm going to dedicate this to one of our team. Unfortunately, one of our team passed about a week ago. His name is Roger. And I'm going to dedicate it to Roger because Roger was PeopleTek's IT person. And Roger started out he's been a friend for many years, but he started out pretty tough, the traditional IT. And over the years, he shifted. He started to really shift. And we are still getting letters today how helpful, how beneficial, and how much Roger helped everybody, not only in our company, but all of our customers that we deal with around, everywhere. And it was because he started to look at himself and started to make little adjustments. So what I'm going to give you is the one tool we're going to focus a lot on today is the PeopleTek Leadership Compass, which is the matrix. It's like an Excel spreadsheet. It's got open, hidden, and all this on it. And I don't want you to do anything with it right now, but we're going to talk about that because the premise of the program is the more that we can know about ourselves and the more that we can know about other people, the better we're going to be at motivating, inspiring, and holding our teams accountable and creating a growth and innovation atmosphere because we trust each other, right? So that's what we're trying to create here. And by the end of today, we have a couple of objectives. We're going to look at this self-reflection process that gives feedback. Okay, so we're going to be able to do that. We're going to look at a self-reflection process that gives us feedback and improves our results, not only for our customers, but for ourselves. And we got to start with us first. Is that a deal? Okay. Then what we're going to do is to learn how do we become more customer aware. And it's not easy. You've got to observe, and sometimes you can't see everything. But remember this morning, Bruce said, sometimes it's right there. It is right there. But we got to see with different sets of eyes. But it starts with us seeing ourselves with different sets of eyes first. So we're going to leave with a tool, this PeopleTek compass that I've given everybody, and you're going to get a chance to immediately put it to use today. And we're going to increase your courage for stepping into uncomfortable situations, because that's what it takes. It's uncomfortable. And I'm sorry that I got to be the one to say we've got to go to some of the zone of uncomfort, but we've got to in order to stretch ourselves into an unknown. Just like today, is the harmonica players here? Any of them here? Oh, they didn't come. My gosh, I'm disappointed. No, but that's great. But they put themselves into an uncomfortable position, and they grew from it. I can guarantee it. It's something they will never forget. And so that's what I want us to do. Go to a little bit of an uncomfort area, even while we're here today. And then commit to making one change. Do I have that agreement that each of you will walk out with just one thing that you can implement today, right now, in the workplace? Is that a deal? I'm seeing a lot of heads shake heads. So I've got a deal with everybody? Awesome. So why don't we start? We're going to do an icebreaker. And I didn't have, we put all the overheads out on the website, and everybody doesn't come with them, so don't feel bad. I know it happens. I tried to make a lot of copies. I made like 200 and something. But if you don't have it, it's okay, because you have it up here. So what I'm going to do is I want everybody to start filling out that icebreaker, am I a rare find? Am I a rare find? Okay? And I want everybody to start to put, and you got to listen to this instruction really carefully, something that you would feel comfortable sharing with somebody else. Sometimes people say, Mike, you forgot to tell me about that minor detail. So please put something that you feel comfortable sharing with somebody. So let's take a couple of minutes and fill that out now. We don't have any, I don't think we have any extras of that one. So what I want you to do is just turn over the compass, and on the back of the compass, you can write the answers. And the questions are up on the overhead, if that makes sense. Anybody that didn't get that am I a rare find? Most of you got it, but there are a couple. Let's take a couple of minutes and do that. All right. If you didn't get them all, that's fine. You can finish later. It's not the end of the world. So what I want you to do now is you're going to pair up in twos. Okay? You're going to pair up in twos. And what you're going to do is you're going to review these forms. Now, you don't just hand the person the form and say, here's mine. Okay? We get that a lot. Okay, that's the regular IT. We're in a new world today, right? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to share our answers as people talking. So why don't we start that now? Have a conversation with someone, even if you know the person. I always find that interesting. It's okay. And I thank you. Listen, if you didn't finish, no worries, because you're going to take the tool with you, and I encourage you to finish later, and I actually encourage you to do it with other people. But let me ask you something. How was it doing that? Interesting, fun. All right, what makes it interesting and fun?
Actually, just learning similarities between each other. She's from Texas, I'm from Colorado, kind of understanding we came from similar backgrounds.
Okay, so learning some similarities. And you had similar backgrounds and some things that were in common that you didn't know prior to doing this. What else? What other things? You didn't know that. You thought New York was cities. Right. There is forests in it. There's a lot of beauty up there, too. Yeah. So it's hard to get him started because we don't really have tools and tips and techniques, and it's tough. But once you get him started, it keeps going. You get more information. What else? What else makes it good? Anything else? Yes. Wow, some confirmation about how friendly. So there's similarities, there's friendliness. We get them taught. We get each other talking. Now, is that important as an IT professional and as an IT leadership? Is it important? Okay. So it is. Why? What's the big deal?
Well, it better helps you relate to the person that's on the other end.
Yes. And why is that important?
Because it better helps you assist them. If you know that this person is a visual person, then you're going to see something that has pictures. If you know that they're not familiar with the computer, then you're going to really
So it helps to know what kind of person you're dealing with. The more info you have, those were some technical things we were talking about. These are some personal things, right? And why is it important to know these things? You're right. It's all important because you can help them, and you can help them faster, right? You can go to the core. And isn't faster better in a lot of regards? Now, sometimes faster isn't better because you might solve their problem and you might do it wrong. But the thing is the more info that you have, what builds the more info you have about someone? Relationship and trust. All right? And trust is the foundation of any team. Any team. If you do not have it, you have an IT organization that isn't going to be as effective as it could be. Because every minute that's wasted is a minute that could be invested in innovation and growth. And that's the bottom line. For every minute that we're taking to resolve a problem, that we could do it faster, and we've proved this. We can save 80, 90, 100 hours per year per person if we trust each other more. Now, how do you do that? Well, this is a start. So you can use this tool. And the reason it's important is because, has anybody ever heard